Oh, hey there. So, I'm filming this video. It's going to be my first how-to video, and I want to know what you guys think. I'm going to kind of give you a mix between camera point of view shots like this and, of course, the GoPro that's on my chest. So, I always found it pretty interesting to do oil changes on the SMCR because there's actually two filters and there's like two screens that you have to take out. So, you're going to see everything that I go through to do this. So, I'm going to take you along, and hopefully the audio is good because now I have a microphone. So, we will see how everything turns out in post. So first things first, let's go get what we need. And, fun little bonus, we're going to be installing some nice CNC goodies. Cool. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see the table right now, but I'm going to grab some gloves. That's the first thing I'm going to do right here. And, oh, if I get these in my hands. There we go. Una. And there we go. Metal dose. Alright. So, yes, we're going to be doing the oil change. So we need one of each filter. There is a short one and a long one, which you're actually going to see. We're definitely going to need some oil. I do have some leftover 10W50, and I'm going to have to measure out a solid 2 liters. And the goodies that we're going to be installing from Nice CNC are their nice oil filter housing, and also the opposite side, oil filter housing with the oil pressure hose that goes to the sensor. Of course, braided steel. So we're going to get after that. First thing I'm going to need to do is to take the skid plate off. So I'm going to need some Allen keys for that. And I'm going to get very dirty today because the ground is full of dust. And it's just do be like that. All right, so let's get her going. Here we go. If I remember correctly, this is a 5mm. Oh no, smaller than that. It's probably, is it a 4? It's a 4. So I'll take that out. Oh yeah, I just realized you guys are pointing at the ground. You can't really see what I'm doing, so maybe now you'll be able to see. Alrighty. So me, only because I have a skid plate on this bike, I have to take this off. So for me, it's just 2 simple little bolts right here. Stick that in, and voila. And as you can see, the skid plate already wants to sort of come down. So once this is out, then what I'm going to do is, what's nice about the skid plate, it has 2 little rubber grommets, so you just pull that out and then ta-da, skid plate off. Damn, nasty. All right, that's off. And a fun, nice little practice that you can do is, if you don't want to lose bolts, you can always try to put them back right where you got them from. If you hear that truck, that's my neighbor who's pulling in across the street. Okay, so skid plate is off. And now what we're going to do is we're going to set this to the side, just like so. And we are going to go get my oil pan. So we're going to go get the oil pan, which is right here. You don't want to be spilling oil all over the place. And first things first, we're going to set this up underneath here. Ugh. Okay, so maybe you guys will be able to see this. So if you look right there, so that's your oil drain plug, but you're also going to see me pull this out because this itself is a oil filter screen. So you're going to see, like, if the screen catches any like metal debris or anything like that. There's one on this side, and there's one that's sort of on the front on the other side. You can't see it from here, but you're going to see it anyway. So what I'm going to go do is I'm going to go get the proper tooling and sockets to take that off. Now, I just got home from work, but so the oil should still be hot. Well, hot-ish. Like when I touch the motor, it's still nice and warm to the touch. So here. When it says this is 14. Yeah, so 14 is way too big, so that means there's a number 13. So for all you SMCR people, number 13 on the drain plug. Whew, had to crack that baby open. And it will come out quite quickly. So ideally, this might make an absolute mess. Hopefully not. There we go. Look at that. And one thing that's nice, from factory, there is a magnet on the drain plug. And as you can see, there's not too much particulate on it, which is a very good sign. Because, let's face it, we know how we all ride these bikes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get a rag. I'm going to clean this off. And then we'll get started. So, as you can, well, I'm going to wipe this off. You're probably going to see it better with the GoPro. But once this is all cleaned off, as you can see, everything stayed in the rag, which is a very good sign. We like that. So, now that we're going to be taking off some stuff, where's my magnet tray? Oh, yeah. Let me empty all this stuff out of the magnet tray. And, hey, olive toy. Okay, so, bolt's going to go in. Now, this is going to be the fun part. We're going to remove the first screen. So, first screen, each screen, you always want to have brake cleaner. Now, you can replace these screens 100%. That means most people will replace the screens, but if there's no massive particulate in the screen, then you don't necessarily need to replace it. Oh my god. Damn, that's tight. Alright, so let's go. Oh my god. Well, looks like I didn't eat my Wheaties this morning. Wanna play rough? Alright. And try and get this off. Jesus. Move this a little bit and give myself some leverage. Oh my god. Okay. Alright, that should be enough. Crack it loose. I normally do not like using power tools at all to do things like this. But sometimes you just gotta make a sacrifice. Because I'm just not cutting it with the mustard, apparently. Oh. And also, how an impact works, it gives shocks to the bolt. So, and it's still not coming off. There we go, see? So yeah, that's the big thing about impacts, is they will give like a shock to the bolt. It's like a hammer hitting the bolt as it's trying to loosen it, so it'll help it come out easier. Voila! There is the screen. So, you guys are going to have a hard time seeing this on camera, but, oh, here, let me just get up, not spill too much oil everywhere. Of course, I got a couple of drops on the floor. That's what the rag is for. Okay, so you can't really see it super well, but there's not very much particulate. Like, trust me when I say this. Here, I can take this out and you can try to look through it, but like, no, you're not going to see anything, but you can kind of, no. But here, anyways, just believe me when I say that there's not much particulate in it at all, which is a very good sign. So now we get to do the fun part of absolutely blasting this thing with some brake cleaner. So we're going to take this. I'm just going to go all the way down the filter. Easy like that. There we go. Alright. And always after you clean the filter screen, because as you're blasting it with brake cleaner, it might shoot some particulate to the other side of the screen. So always just take, ooh, caught that. Always just take a look at the screen after, and you could even hold it up to the light just to make sure there's nothing crazy inside of it, like there's no chunks or anything like that. And of course, you can give it a little bit more of a douse, just like so, and she's mint. So this one I'm going to put on the opposite side. So this is going to stay over here for now, because I'm going to leave that screen out. And now, okay, so now that we got this side done, we're going to move on to the other side. I'm just going to get this, just clean up the floor a little bit. Okay, so now that the oil pan is kind of in a good position, we will go to the opposite side. And so it's here. So if you look right here, that is the screen on the other side. So make sure it's number 13. Of course it is. And we're on loosening. So there we go. Screen out. And let's take a look at this one. Ooh, she's looking good too. Ah, yeah, there we go. A little bit of some, a little bit of dirt up in the spot. I'm gonna try to. There we go. Yeah, yeah. There we go. Now she's cherry. Good. Okay. So these bikes, when you're draining the oil, you have to tilt them back and forth because it won't let all the oil out completely. So now I'm going to take off the opposite side oil filter housing, which is a T30. And then we shall remove this here. Oh yeah. Take this off. I guess we're in it now with the power tools. There we go. We'll pull this off at the same time. There we go. Take that off. And then the plug here, we'll unplug this because this goes to the oil pressure sensor, and we should be able to remove this entirely. With these KTM filters, one of the sides, which is this side, which is actually nice to do because this is facing you, you can take your pick and you can stick it in and you can just pull on the filter and it'll come out. Very easy, no big deal. And whenever, it's good practice that whenever you take a filter out, just open up some of the pleats like that and try to look inside the pleats to see if you have any debris or anything. And this one is actually very, very clean, which that makes my heart happy. It makes me feel good. So this filter, I'll just put it in here. I know it's full of oil, but whatever, it is what it is. And I'm gonna wipe my hand off. And okay, so that filter's out and the screen is open. So now what you need to do, once your hands are at least wiped off so you don't get your dirty mitts all over everything, just stand the bike up. You can put the kickstand up if you want to. It will make your life a lot easier because you can position the band better. But you hear that? Already it's starting to drain out more. So what you do is you can tilt it one way to let oil come out. Oh, I don't want to let it get on the floor. There we go. And then when you tilt it back this way, See? I don't know if you guys are going to see that from the GoPro, but you can probably hear it. So you just hold the front brake, squat down with it, and go back. Push it to the other side. There we go. I'm going to walk around this to make it easier. You can also put it in gear too. Ugh. You want to make your life a little bit easier. So now I'm going to tilt this more towards me. Let some more Earl come out of it. Oh yeah. There we go. Good. Yeah. There we go. Alrighty. Look at me, breathing heavy and shit. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to assemble this. So when you, especially if let's say you get this and you kind of don't have an idea of what you need to do, the best thing to do is look at the previous one. So you see, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's a copper washer. So we know that there needs to be a copper washer between here and between this part right here. So that's automatic. And what's cool is I can disassemble this part from here. And when you disassemble this, one thing that is very important that you will see, you'll see one side has a taper and the other side does not. The side that doesn't have the taper is the side that's going to go into the oil filter housing. So I'm going to do, sorry I'm pulling this one out. I'm going to take one of the copper washers. And so you take the copper washer, you put it onto the flat side, and then you thread this in properly, like so. So now, when you thread this in, you're obviously going to want it tight. You're not going to absolutely kill it on the tightness, but just enough to squeeze that washer. Just like this. And be careful, because when you use like a metal wrench like this, you see how it kind of mars up the thing a little bit. If you have like proper AN wrenches, I mean, use them. But. So now, once that piece has been assembled, then you take this and you bottom this out all the way. So once that's down, then you hold the oil filter housing and take this and get it nice and tight. Because remember, any of this stuff leaks, oh, there goes your oil pressure. So now that that's on, we're going to look at the upper part that goes to the sensor. Now, once you have them both like this, then you simply try to break it loose. Like that. So now, once you're broken loose, you can now take the sensor away from the oil filter housing hose, and notice how when you look at the end of this hose, does it not look pretty identical? Sure. Take your sensor, make sure to not leave the old one. You see? This one's still there. We're going to take that off. We're going to pop on the new one. And then we're going to put this one right in. Like that. And right there. Now always be careful, because these fittings, like on the nice CNC one, they're aluminum. You have to remember that aluminum is soft, so aluminum can strip quite easily. So yes, you send it home, but you don't absolutely murk it. Like, just like know your limits. When we look at the old filter, we need to check which one it is. And lucky for us, if we look, it's roughly the same size, because clearly this one was for the opposite side. It's much bigger. So if you want to know The high flow filtro 651 is the filter that goes on the right side of the bike, so on the clutch side of the LC4. Through up here. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh. There we go. Plug this sensor in, like so. There we go. Sensor is plugged back in. P-clamp is kind of where we need it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure to pop this in place, just like that. My hand real quick. Thread this one in my hand as well. Fantastic. And we are not going to send it home. We're just going to run them down like that. There. And a cool trick, if you have something that's kind of on a weird angle or whatever. So right now I put it in reverse. So what you can do is you reverse. Once you hear that click like that, then you know you're lined up with your threads and you can start tightening it down. So now I'm going to place this how it was, just under the fairing like that. And that we can send home because it's going to stay there like that. So now we got the new braided line and we have the new nice CNC cover. Sick! Put that back in like this. Like so. And then this. Oh, well, the big camera just died, so you'll get pretty much mostly GoPro point of view from this point on, as long as my GoPro is still on. Yes, it is. So we're going to put this back. Give it a little quick dab right there. Nothing too crazy. And where's my wrench? Where's my wrench? I need my wrench, guy. So wrench time. Where's the wrench? Where did I put you? Oh, it's right here. Ta-da-da-da. We are now going to tighten these bolts by hand and make sure that they're nice and tight. Obviously, it has to be untightening first things first. So uno. That's it. Just like that. Fantastic. So that ain't going nowhere. Bow. And we're going to get started on the opposite side. Now the opposite side is kind of a little bit of pain in the booty. So we're gonna, and so now we're going to take the oil filter housing off. Where's my T25? Where's my wrench? Did I put the wrench back over there? See, this is what takes me long to do stuff, because I'm always doing the same thing. I'm always leaving the tool behind, the tool that I need to actually get it done. All right, oh, now that we're back, here we go. So now, right here, just below the exhaust, you know, you place it right where you can absolutely burn the shit out of yourself. So you just loosen them 2 bolts, and then oil filter housing can come off. All right, so now that's good. We're gonna put these in the magnet tray. You're gonna have to go by feel. Yeah. Nice. All right, and we will take this off. We could probably pop it up by hand. I'll try. Like so, yeah. You just twist it, and then once you get the tabs up, like that, and then give it a good old pull. And it's gonna come off. Now this one sucks to take out, because as you can see, There's no like little rubber hole where you can put the pick in to get the oil filter out. So now we're gonna fight with this one quite a bit. I'm gonna wipe off my old phalanges there, and we're gonna here. Where's my pick? And we're gonna see if we can get this out using some motivation. Get you some of that act right. There you go. Come on. Oh God. These are an absolute nightmare. I wonder if I could pierce it. Nope. Can't pierce that. Oh man. Nope. This one is absolute nightmare. There we go. There we go. Alright. You just gotta put the pick in, pry it a little bit. Now, when you look at the inside, I don't know if you can see the inside of where the filter goes, but when you look inside of the filter, as you saw, there was a hole on one side and it was empty on the other. Now, when you look, there's a little oil supply that's right there. So, of course, the hole has to go over the oil supply because it's going to pass through the filter and then go where it needs to go. So you just pop that bad boy in like that, and you're good to go. And now we get to install the nice piece. Ta-da! Brand spanking new. So we're gonna put this on. Make sure the logo is up like this. Hold on. Alrighty. We are back. I'm just gonna put these bolts back into the housing. And easiest way, now that we have an extended housing, do this by the old phalanges. Just like that. Okay, well now that the housing is on, oh, this one I'm gonna get an extension because it's a little bit deep. Rolling in the deep. Okay, I won't make any more random ass jokes now. So, there we go. On like Donkey Kong. There we go. And make sure those are nice and tight so that they don't leak. Voila. And now, okay. So now we get to put back in the screen. This one's gonna go right back in here. And hey, there we go. There we go. Put that back in, and then drain plug can go back in. Oh, God. There we go. Get that out the way. There. We're in. I'm clean. I'll take. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, people. I was leaning over to grab this because we will put the screen back in and then drain plug. Good. Make sure that the drain plug is good and tight. Not over tightened, just good and tight. And oh yeah, that's good. And oh yeah, those are good. And it's always good practice if you can take a little bit of brake clean, you know, clean the motor too. Clean it from where like the oil will run down it from the housings and stuff like that. Give it a little bit of shot there. And I'll go on the other side and clean this off too. And just like that. Alright, and pick a non-ultra gritty side of the rag. And the oil pan out of place and just give her a good old wipe down. She's probably going to be quite nasty underneath from all the road grime and all that stuff. But give her a good old wipe down. She's happy. There we go. Good. And good. Alright. I know, it's dirty as shit under here. Need to get on it with the washing. Promise though, it'll be clean for the show. Alrighty, so now that's all good. So the factory recommended is 1.7 liters of oil. Now, of course, when you're doing wheelies, doesn't matter what bike you ride, you always risk oil starvation. So me, what I like to do is I measure out 2 liters. So this is 700 ml. So I'll measure out 700, and then I'll measure out another 300 ml. So we're going to see if we have enough in this bad boy. First things first, this cup has been sitting quite a long time. So I'll at least take something to wipe it out, because the bottom is clean, because whatever. I'll just clean the whole thing. There we go. Just dump that out like that. Get that billet cap off. Okie dokie. So that's pretty much good enough. So I'm gonna go wash this, and I will be right back. Okay, we're back, and she's clean. So now we're gonna measure out some oil. We're gonna pour it up. Put the new 4Gs on the Jeep. And it's always good practice, because sometimes you're gonna have dirt and stuff around this thing. If you can, wipe around it so you get minimal dirt into the crankcase and such. So, and we're gonna take this bad boy off. And we're going to set her to the side. So try to not push anything into the case. So you wipe and then wipe away from the case, just like that. Just like that. Alright, so now, this is the easy part of the oil change. We are going to measure out, and we're going to pour some oil of boil in Dead Man's Toes. Shout out if you get the reference. Actually, we won't even need to really measure, because this is slightly under 2 liters. Whatever. We'll measure just so to make sure that I put actually 2 liters up in here. Okay. So, here we go. That oil's got the thickness. Okie dokie. So, oh, did I nail that? Huh, I nailed that. Sick. Okay, so now we're gonna pour in. And I should have a funnel for this, but yeah, I'm always gonna get that one little drop, almost a couple of drops. Okay. Yeah, that was a little bit of spillage. Alright, there we go. No, God. This is... I really need to get a funnel, honestly. Jesus. This is terrible. Alright, well, laugh at my failure, but we'll be back once we got 2 liters of oil and not more in the bike than outside of the bike. Okay, so we finished the other bottle, and we got some more of this one into the bike, so we should have enough. Now, time to clean up my disgusting mess that I made. Disgusting. As my parents would say, ooh. And that little sandy grit that's on the end of that. Yeah, we don't like that. We don't like that at all. Let's take that stuff off. Okay. So now, you're ready. Put this back on. So we definitely don't want brake clean getting into our oil. That's the last thing we need. Alright, so now that that's on, you can brake clean away. Alright, get everything nice and cleaned off. Good. Wipe it. There we go. Cool. There we go. Alright. It's all wiped down. Wipe the water. Alright. And then once you've done all of that and you have oil in the bike, you can go through your mental checklist. So I know I tighten the fitting up here. I tighten the fitting down there. I tighten these 2 bolts. I tighten the screen bolt. I tighten the drain plug. I tighten the other screen. And I tightened the filter housings here. So now what we're going to do, and chances are your bike will give you that oil pressure light when you first start it. But right now, the most important thing for me is to start it and make sure it don't leak oil from anywhere where we change the parts. So, here we go. We got no leaks, boys. No leaks. Fantastic. Sure good. Fantastic. So, I'm very happy that you guys tagged along. I'm going to take my time and clean up the floor, clean up all the other stuff, put the skid plate back on, and, well, I hope you enjoyed this how-to, and we'll maybe see something else that... Let me know if you want to see something else or whatever, and I'll post it. All right. Peace out, y'all. Fun little bonus. If you own a 690, do yourself the favor and buy the skid plate, because after seeing this is legit sandblasted just from riding on the street. I don't really do off-roading. If you want to know the part number, it's a KTM power part, and it is 432101438900004. Thank me later.